Hello, hope you are well. I thank you all for enrolling to today's event. We are back with our new session on EIE Fresh Talk presented by Excel in Excel. A company that is innovating as an edutech firm and expanded into data analysis, we strongly believe that for a world driven by data, information is power and excellence is our brand. Our core services include analytics, consulting, training. Let me give you a small gist on EIE Fresh Talk. It is a platform where we host great leaders and experts from various fields to speak regularly on a variety of topics ranging from finance to analytics. Few of our past events include 7 Excel features pros use to be more efficient by Mr. Sumit Bansal, new formulas in MS Excel and its used cases by CA Vijay Agarwal, rich data types in MS Excel by Ms. Paula Guilfoyle, secret lookup functions that deserve your love by Mr. Alan Murray. I'd also like to inform the participants that if you want to watch the earlier sessions, you can use the link in the comment section. I request Erlinda to introduce today's speaker. Over to you, Erlinda.
Good evening, everyone. Today's talk is about automate sending emails from MS Excel using VBA scripts macros presented by Mr. Patryk Samborski. Mr. Patryk Samborski is a VBA developer and certified Excel expert from Poland. He has a degree in accounting and finance. He holds many certifications, including Microsoft Office Specialist, Excel 2016 Expert from Microsoft, VBA for Experts, Manipulating Windows and MS Office from Lab Masters, VBA Web, Connect Excel to the Web with VBA from Udemy, and Agile PMR Foundation from APMG International. He is working as a VBA developer with Electa Business Services SP. His responsibilities include training, business analysis, track and publish KPIs, maintaining tools and creating VBA solutions, and Excel macros, which are widely used by the staff and have resulted in huge time saves and cost benefits. We welcome you, sir. Before we begin, I request participants to join me in welcoming today's speaker with a hi in the chat section. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them in the question box and we will later present it to the speaker. Over to you, sir.
Okay, hello everyone. I hope you can hear me well. If not, then just let me know. Okay, so I will start share my screen. Okay, if Annie could confirm that can see my screen.
Yes, sir, we can see your screen.
Perfect. Okay, so like it was said in the introduction, my name is Patryk, and I'm a VBA developer currently, but I've been studying finance and accounting, so nothing IT related. I had a VBA course in my studies, and then this is when my journey with VBA began. So yeah, this is all about myself. I'll go through the key takeaways. So during this session, I'll try to show you how you can create an email from Excel, how to send multiple emails from Excel automatically. And later on, I'll try to show you a few tips how you can make your email a little bit more customized and looking more professional. rather than the manual email, so that it looks more like automatically generated from the system rather than manually written. Okay, so my idea for today's session is to create a macro that will send multiple emails based on the table that you can see currently on my screen. I'll make it a little bit bigger. And let's imagine we have kind of a report that you can see now. It's a very simple report, but actually it's all about the data, not the layout. So imagine it's a report that shows different invoices, its amounts, and payment date. And I want to create a macro, VBA macro, that will like loop through all the list, check whether a certain invoice is overdue or not. So the payment date is less than today's date. And if that is true, it should create an email with attached invoiced and customized email body. Before our session, I created the table, and what I did more is I created a dummy invoice for every single invoice that I have in a table. Like I said before, it's just a dummy file, so it's not a real invoice, but just for test purpose, it's totally enough, I think. So this is what I've done before. And okay, so let's start coding. Now I'll go to the VBA editor. You can go to the VBA editor window in two ways, or go to Developer tab and click Visual Basic, or simply press Alt F11. Okay, so this is a blank VBA editor window. I'll make it a little bit bigger so that you can see. So that the font is big enough, maybe 14, it's going to be okay. And yeah, I've already created a simple module where I'm gonna store my code. And okay, let's start coding. So first of all, I want to create a procedure where my code will be stored. So I'll start with sub. Okay, maybe let's make it a little bit more bigger. Tools, options, general editor format, and maybe let's set it to 14. If it's not big enough, then just let me know and we'll make it bigger. Okay, so let's start with sub and maybe let's call it send. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. 14. Okay. So first of all, we will use Outlook to send emails. So if you have Outlook already installed on your computer, that's fine. That's perfect, because this is how we're gonna create our macro. So using Outlook, there are some alternative options, ways to automate email sending when you do not have Outlook. But I think that's not a scope of that session. I can tell you how to do it later on, maybe at the end. So first of all, we want to use, like currently we're in Excel, so we can use and we can reference only to Excel objects and methods and properties. But we want to send emails with Outlook. So as you can see, if I want to declare any variable, that should relate to Outlook library, you can see there's nothing like Outlook. So first thing you need to do is to go to Tools, References, scroll down to Microsoft Outlook, and whatever version of Outlook you have, you should select it. My version is number 16, so I select that library and click OK. And from now, as you can see, I can see Outlook library, which means I can use all the Outlook features, including sending emails. So first of all, I'm going to declare Outlook out_app variable that will be our variable referencing to the Outlook application object. This is like, I would say, in the object tree model, it's the, let's say, the first level. And I want to create the instance of the of that variable. So I set out_app to new Outlook application. Okay, the next step is to declare another variable that will relate to our email object. And I will declare this out_mail as Outlook because I'm referencing to Outlook library, and select mail item. So this is a kind of a object of Outlook library that will give us all properties, all methods for mails. And this is what we are gonna use actually because we want to send emails. Okay, so we have out_mail variable declared already. And next things that we want to do is to create an email. So to do that, we need to set this variable. Yeah. Okay. So to do that, we need to select out_app, which is already declared, and select method create item. And when you open the parentheses, you can select item type. And one of the types is mail item. This is one that I'm going to select. Okay, so now at the moment I have an email already created in VBA memory. And as you can see, I'll change my screen to Outlook. There are some different properties like to property CC. This is a subject, and this is the email body where we can write some message. And here's as well send button, which stands for one of mail item methods. So as you can see, when we declare our variable to out_mail and list all of the properties and methods, you can see there is something like to, exactly the same name like in our Outlook email. There is a CC, there is also a body, and there is also send method. So it's quite straightforward. Okay, so just for test purpose, we can select.
So sorry to interrupt, but could you zoom in a little?
Yeah, sure. I'll try to make this edit format maybe 24. I'm not sure why it doesn't. It's not responding.
Can you use Windows key and plus key magnifier?
Yeah, just give me a second. I'm not sure why. It's not responding to my. Okay, let's do that again.
Or else in the end, can you show it in the notepad, the quotes in a notepad?
Yeah, we could do this, but here we won't see any VBA intelligence, so you won't see the list and so on. But let me give it another try. I'll copy just that and yeah, maybe close the Excel and open it again, just to make sure that you see. Okay, let's try again. It's tools options. I think that's because I share my screen. Now, for some reason it's not responding. Let's try to create a new module maybe. Tools options, format size, 16. And still.
Maybe you can show it in a notepad so members can see it. You can type it over there, or just copy the codes in the notepad.
Yeah, I'll just maybe try to. Is there an option on Zoom to make it a little bit bigger? Maybe I'll maybe stop sharing for a moment and try to change the setting in my Outlook in my Excel. Are you okay?
It's okay. It's okay, but you can decide. Okay.
Yeah, just for a moment.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, just give me a second. It always happens when you're live. Tools, options. Still nothing happens. Why is that? Just give me a second. I have no idea why that happens. Options 18. Okay, I think we need to go to Notepad, but it's not going to be useful for you guys.
Try whether you can use magnifier, Windows and plus key. Windows key and plus key.
Yeah, I'll try to do that. Okay. Let's try to do it this way. Okay. Okay, I'm starting sharing. Okay. Do you know if there's an option to change it not to such a big percentage? Okay, is it better now?
Can you share your screen?
Yeah, just give me a moment. Unfortunately, the only thing I can see is okay. Now I'm sharing my screen, but magnifier is the only option is 250, which is quite big. Why is that happens?
Can you open the magnifier? I'll just tell you how to change it.
Yeah, I can.
Settings.
I have it.
Settings. There's a setting. Okay.
Yeah,
Then
but I
again,
can.
can you in the drop down? Can you just change in the drop down below the 200%? Change it to 50.
150.
50, 50, only 50.
Okay. I don't think that works. Okay, maybe.
Okay.
Is it
It's
better
good,
now?
good. Yeah, better, better.
Okay, so let's get back.
Good,
Sorry
good,
for
Patryk.
that. Sorry for that.
No, no issues.
Okay, so like I said before, we have already created our mail variable, and as you can see, there are old methods and properties that you can use. For example, display. So when we, I'll just when we execute the macro, it should populate the email, so we can see that works. All other thing is to customize the email so that it looks like you want. So we can set, for example, to property, which will be our email. Let's say email address. I will replace it with the correct email address later on. Next one is subject. Here goes our test message. And for example, there is also something like body, which is the content of our email. So, sorry. One more things, tools, options. I think I have changed something before. Yeah, it's not Greek. It's that one. Okay, so just try if that works again or not. Okay, it doesn't. Okay, so here we can our text message. This is the message, and here is actually our subject. Okay, so another method is, instead of selecting display, which actually displays our email, we can select send to send email directly. But for test purpose, I will select display. I don't like to repeat variable name so many times, so I like to use with and remove all other variable names and end that block with end with. Okay, so we've got our let's say our variable with all properties set to what we want to send. And if I go back to our workbook, we want to loop through all invoices that we have in that table and send email for every single invoice for which payment date is less than today's date. So to do that, we need to create a loop. I'll create a simple counter, which is row number as integer, let's say, and for loop for row number equals 2, because we want to exclude our header first row, to this one is 10 to 10. We want to repeat the next row number. We want to repeat that part of code. Okay, so I will get my email address. This is a dummy count 346-282. 346. 282. It begins with C. Now it's a Gmail account. I think that one is correct. Our subject could be something like your payment or your payment is overdue. And we can change our body to dear payer. Dear payer attached. You can find past due invoice, something like this. And yeah, we can test it. Maybe I'll change the max index to 3, so just test for one email only. And as you can see, it works. We have our fields correctly updated, but the message doesn't look well. Like the body doesn't look well. We want to make it a little bit more customized, do some breaks so that it looks like this. And to do that, we need to change one thing. And this is actually where all the cool things happens with emails. Instead of using body, we can use HTML body, which accepts HTML syntax, which means we can modify the content of the body. So at the top, I will keep noting some important information. So HTML tags. And the first one is a tag that breaks our line. Break line. So if we use that tag here and test the code, we will have our text split into 2 lines. So this is how the tag works. Okay, let's close that one. No. Okay, and with this, we can customize our email body. So we could also use another HTML tag, which is this one, and it makes our text bold. It has a close tag as well, so bold text. So for example, we can use break line here. And for example, use invoice amount, which is in column B. So invoice amount will be sheet 1, cells row number, and it's B. I want to use its value. Just to double confirm, yes, it's B. I'll declare that as well, theme as double because that's amount. And yeah, and we can add this here. And use our tag that make the amount bold. Sorry. I'll break that line here so that it looks better. B. invoice amount. We should close that tag. And let's try what happens. Oh, sorry. We should delete that one and execute the macro. So as you can see, now we have invoice amount here, which is it's a bold text. And this is what the tag does. Okay, with this, we could use another tag, which is font. And this tag has some more properties like face, which means which stands for font name. So for example, Times New Roman. It has size as well. We can set it to 4, which is a little bit bigger. Here goes the text, our text, and we close our tag. Okay, so with this, we can use that one to make our invoice amount a little bit bigger. So actually, we should copy that part that determines what is the size, what is the font name, and close the tag as well. And let's see if that works. As you can see, the amount is a little bit bigger, and that's good. This is how the tag works. Okay, let's close that one. Okay. And with that, we could, but as you can see, the message HTML body becomes a little bit hard to read. So we could do something like we can declare lines variable, which will be an array, a string, and we will store our email body lines in that array. So let's assume our email body will have, let's say, 5 lines. And in our first line, or actually, I should use index 0 because arrays becomes start indexing at 0. So actually, dear payer will be our first line. This will be our second line. Okay. We can build another line, which will be attached, will be this one. Now that our code becomes more readable. Okay, and that's all. And now we can declare another variable. Let's say HTML body as string, and we can use built-in function which will join our array using delimiter. And as every single element of the array is a single line, so when we join the lines, we want to join them with delimiter that breaks our line. So like this. And now instead of all that things, we can use simply HTML body variable like this. So now the code becomes readable well, and it should work. Because now we have just 3 lines. Maybe I'll decrease lines index number to 3 and see if that works. As you can see, that works. So we can continue. Okay, another useful tag which you can use is a tag called image. Or maybe before that, I'll show you a tag that lets you create a link in your email body. So it goes like this. Here goes your path or even attachment name, actually, because this is the way how we're gonna use it. Attachment name, text to display, and close the tag. Okay, so this tag, what it does, it creates a link. Okay, and this is actually what we can do. I'll copy that tag and use it in our fourth element, which goes like click here to pay, for example. And we can replace the here word with our tag. And we can change our text to display to here. And our attachment name, this is actually attachment name, or this can be external link. So this can redirect you to a website or to attachment if you add any attachment to your email body. So let's use, for example, google.com. But you could use your own. If you have any platform where a customer payer can pay, make a payment, you can use your own customized link here. I will increase number of elements in our array to 4, and I'll just double check if that looks well. Yeah, and see if that works. As you can see, there's another line. Sorry, there is a typo. We need to repair that. And there is a link that redirects you to google.com. So if you send an email and the recipient gets the message, he can directly click here, for example, to pay, to settle the payment. So I think it's very useful. I'll close that example and go back to our code. Okay, actually we can click here to settle the payment. There could be, I don't know, bank platform or whatever you want, so that the payer doesn't have to do it manually, but simply by clicking the link. Another cool option here is to add some attachments. I'll go skip to here, and email variable has some other objects, properties, and methods, and one of them is attachments. That in turn has add method, where you can add any file to your email by determining the source path actually. So here goes source path. And as I showed you before, I have some invoices already stored in our folder. So I'll copy that path, maybe do that as constant because we're not going to change that. And this is, let's say, invoice folder, a string, because the text, sorry, and have it here so that when I use that variable, I can replace that with my folder, invoice folder. And as we are in a loop, and our invoice is its name is the number of is it's an invoice number, we can select the invoice number from Excel from column A to determine our path. So we could use something like with invoice amount, just can declare it here, invoice number, a string, and invoice number is sheet 1 cells row number is first column and take its value. And we need to add backslash our invoice number and extension, which is PDF. Okay, and see, let's see if that works. As you can see now, the attachment is added. So this is what the function does. Okay, yeah, and that's what the attachments add method does. And another cool tag which you can use is image that looks like this. The source is attachment name. And it doesn't has a close tag. So there's that's URL. Okay. So before that, we can create a very simple shape in Excel, which can be added later on to our email. Let's do it like this. Pay now. We can make it a little bit bigger. So that looks well, maybe too big. Okay. We can maybe change its color to something like this. We can change or even remove outline, and to have the shape looking like a real button or something like a button, you can insert a symbol, go to symbols, symbol, and there are many different symbols. That's a good tip. This is a list of all different fonts that you can use, but some of them keeps or actually displays icons instead of letters. So that's there are 4 of them. One is webdings, another one is wingdings, and 2 and 3. So let's use whatever you want. I have already selected a symbol before, so I'll select from recently used symbols and click insert, close. I think there should be somewhere. Okay, there's that. And okay, we have our shape already created. I will right click and save as picture. And I'll use the same folder so that we have our variable valid and call it pay now and click save. Now, when we go to our code, we can declare another constant value. Let's say button name as string. And this is pay now as extension. Okay. And we can use it in our image tag, which is here. I'll make it a little bit bigger. Okay. So actually, what I want to do is to declare another array element, which consists of our image tag. And here I need to paste attachment name, which is gonna be, which is in here. Actually, it's, we could even, okay, we can leave it as this. But in order to have it, in order to make it visible, as you can see here, the source is just attachment name. So this tag will display attachment by its name. So before we reference to our attachment name, we need to attach this this image here. So exactly the same as before. Attachments add invoice folder backslash and button name. So it has already extension itself. And I will, as this element is our 5th element because it started with 0, I need to change it to 5 and see what happens. I execute the macro. As you can see, it works. It loads image. Definitely it's too big, so I will close that window and change its size because there is another property of the image, which is width or height, whatever you want. Let's put 25 pixels. It's going to be much smaller, and let's try it out now. Okay, still too big. Okay, image source. Oh, sorry, I've changed an incorrect place because I did it here. It's my fault. We should do that here. Yeah, and see what happens. Yeah, now it's definitely too small, so I'll make it a little bit bigger. Maybe 50. Okay. And another cool thing is that most of the tags that you have here, you can mix with each other, which means I can make an image that has a link so that I can click on the image and activate the link. And to do that, we simply need to embed one tag inside another one. So what I'm going to do is to actually copy the first part, and instead of text to display, there's going to be image. So we can do something like this and close it as previously. Our URL can be anything. Let's say it's google.com, but you can select whatever you want here. Okay, and let's see if that works. Okay, and now if you move your mouse over the button, you can see that you can control click on the button, and it will redirect you to the website that you have selected here. Okay, and what we can do more, we have about 10-15 minutes left. What we can do more is add something like another line, which is kind of a contact information. So we can use something like phone number. Goes like, let's do a dummy one. And yeah, maybe get another line for our message. And maybe email. And I don't know, it's gonna be or let's say custody.team.com or something. I'll enlarge that to 7. And maybe do just for 1. And yeah, see if that works. Okay, now you can see, as you can see, you have phone number, email below the button so that the payer can contact you or something. But it doesn't look too. First thing we should fix is maybe its font. I think it's too big. And another thing is that you can manipulate the text using our font tag as well. So yeah, I will copy that part of our tag that determines what is the font. And we can use, we can definitely, for now we can remove it, change its size maybe to 2. And close that tag here. And yeah, do the same with the email. Okay, close the tag. So that should be a little bit smaller. Another cool thing, for example, I don't want to use a phone number or email, but want to use icon because it's, I think it looks better. We can go back to our Excel. And like I said before, if you go to symbols and symbol, there are some cool fonts that displays icons or symbols instead of letters. And there are plenty of them. It's Webdings and Wingdings 2 and 3. And as you can see, I've already used that symbols recently. So I will insert a phone symbol and email symbol, close that one. And as you can see, the phone symbol is parentheses, and for email, it's asterisk. So if we type asterisk in and select our font to be Wingdings, it displays email icon. So this is what I'm going to use in our code. So we can actually use, sorry, that was actually use a font like parentheses. Maybe let's do another thing. I'll copy that one again, one more time, paste it here, and change its face to. I think it was web things, and instead of that, use that symbol, and just after that, we can remove our phone number and just leave the phone, and yeah, do the same with our email. Just yeah, that goes for email. I don't know, it's a custody team.com or whatever. Okay, and see if that works. Oh, sorry, I selected incorrect incorrect font, I think. We go insert, symbol, and this one, yeah, it's Wingdings. So I selected incorrect one. Okay, it's not Webdings, Wingdings, and I should replace this with asterisk. Let's try it now. Okay, as you can see, you have a cool icons here instead of the text. And the last thing you can do is you can that you can add our link tag to our custody team, for example, and do something like this. Maybe instead of our email, we can type something like contact us. And in that place, we should, like I said here, it's URL, but it doesn't have to be a website. There's a cool option in Excel. If you right click and select link, and you can link to email address. You can select whatever email address you want, let's say custodyteam.com, and get some subject. We can do something like your payment is overdue. Payment is overdue. And when we click OK or not, you can see that Excel automatically creates actually a link, a text that we can copy and paste to our URL. So maybe I'll break that line here and just make it in some variables. So this is mail to. Okay, and we can copy that one, paste it here. 06. Okay, I'll just declare that variable as well. And let's see if that works. Yeah, and as you can see, now we have a link that we can click, and what it does, it simply creates Okay, there must be a typo in my code. It's oh yeah, because I simply copied a variable to a text. So what I should do is something like this. And we test it. You can see now I can click the link. And what it does, it simply opens another email with the default recipient and default subject that we have already declared in our code. We could also add another property, like one of them is subject, but we could also add body, and let's say something out reply or something. Okay, what I don't like in the email is that I think we should change our number of our break lines, because it's to have it more readable. So when we join our array, I will place another break line so that it looks better. Yeah, now it's a little bit better. And with that, you could actually let's test with one email. So we can change display to send and test if that works. And see if that comes in. We can wait a second or so. Yeah, so here it is. This is our email that we have just sent. And as you can see, there is an attachment. There is a link to settle the payment or whatever link you insert in our code. You can click the button that will redirect you to the address that we selected. In this case, it's google.com, and we can create an auto reply to that message. And last thing I'd like to show you is to insert a range from Excel to email body, and I will use well-known range to HTML function. It's the function created by Ron De Bruyne. Here is I found it on his blog. Very good function that simply copies a range that you have passed to that function and converts to HTML format. This is actually what the function does. So we could use something like range to paste as range, and for each loop we can set this variable to sheet1 and range a. It's a, and our row number sorry. Oh yeah, that's let me just quickly check. It's column C. So it's C and row number. So yeah, this is our range with the details of our invoice. And we could I'm just trying to select the proper place for that range. Let's say this could be just below the second line. So as you can find, you can use it here. So let's do like this and increment that by 1. And we can use that function. It's range to HTML and pass our range to paste as a variable. Yeah, and see what happens. Okay. I didn't change the method from send to display, so the mail has been already sent. So just give me a second. As you can see, I receive an email. If I double click to open, but as you can see, it has ranges that I have already selected. So you can select any range that you want. It has every remaining elements that we had before. And with that, actually, we could simply take a look at our code and now simply change 2 to 10 so that to look through all our invoices. And we can add one condition that I forgot about. Cells, its row number and 3 value, which is our payment date, is less than today's date, so that we want to send our reminders only for those that are past due. Okay. And if message box sent, just a quick look if that works. Okay. One thing to do is we want to create each email for each loop. And at the end, when the mail is sent, I want to set this to nothing. The same I'm going to do with our application variable. Once everything is done, we want to set to nothing. And yeah, just a quick look if everything is okay. Let's go back to our emails. I'll remove that one. And go to developer. We can insert some button. It could be form control, whatever. And select our procedure. Click OK. Maybe change its name to send. Okay. And I'll maybe change the magnifier back to 100. Yeah, now it's better. And yeah, and see if that works. Hopefully it does. So what it does, it goes through every single line, checks whether the payment date is less than today's date, and creates and sends all those emails. So the message box says it's sent. So I'm going back to my mailbox. As you can see, I have 4 new emails because if I filtered by we can even simply see that that one is past due, that one, and probably this one. So yeah, there are 4 emails, 4 invoices that should be for which we should send reminders and this is for what our macro did. You have every single invoice attached. As you can see, the numbers is correct. You can click here to open whatever you set in your code. You can click a button. You can contact with the sender, and these are for 4 emails, for 4 our invoices. So yeah, that's all from my side. If you go and get some knowledge about more tags, because I only told you about only 5 tags. There are more of them, so you can customize and adjust your email body to your needs, so you can tailor as you want. But yeah, with that simple tags, you can send, I think, quite customized email. So yeah, that's all from my side. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Thank you, sir. So we have a couple of questions. So the first one, could I answer emails using VBA?
Well, yeah, that's possible. Because here we simply create new emails, but from Outlook application, maybe let's do it here. There are many other methods and properties, and if we we get namespace, and its type, it's mappy, and if we get default folder or some whatever folder you want, or even we could use folders and put the name of your folder. Let's use maybe, I don't know, for example, inbox. I'm not sure if this is just an example. That you can declare. You can declare like item or mail to reply as Outlook mail item. You could as well theme out folder as Outlook folder. Set this folder to what we've got here. You should change your folder name to whatever folder you want to reply to, because we want to reply, for example, for that item. That item is stored in inbox, so that's why I use inbox. And we could use like something like our, let's say, theme reply message as Outlook mail item. We can set it to our folder and get some item. If you know which one is it, it can be first or whatever. There are more methods here. You can find some item by its name or by the date or whatever you want. But if you have that item, I think you can reply message reply. So yeah, this is the option that you can select the item that you want to reply to, and yeah, and there is a method to reply using similar properties like here. You can reply that message. Thanks for the question.
So we have one more question. Can we attach different PDF files for different recipients?
Can you repeat the question? Different PDF file?
Can we attach different PDF files with different recipients?
Well, yeah, actually, this is what the macro does, because well, this is just an example, but you can change, like if we have, for example, here recipient, and I don't know, I used a very just an example of an email. But if you have different emails, I don't know, we can say mail 1, mail 2, 3, and so on and so on. So we could change this to sheet 1 cells row number, and that's 4, yeah, 4 value. And now we could send this invoice to this recipient, this invoice to this one, and so on. So this, you should use different email address, like this one as an example. And then it should works. If you change those addresses, then it works and should work. So it's all about everything that is static here. You can change to anything you want from your table. So, for example, your subject doesn't have to be static as well. This could be like invoice number and sheet 1 cells row number, and it's our invoice number is in first row, value then is overdue or something. So we could actually change every single static value from here to what you have in Excel by simply referencing like in this example. Thanks.
So we have one more last question. At the end of the code, you set variables to nothing at two different places in the code. Why not keep them both together just before end?
Well, that's a good question. This is just an example. We should add some error handling procedure, because if anything's go wrong, if anything goes wrong, we should have error handling procedure. And this, just for test purpose, I didn't use any error handling. So yeah, we could actually set this one to nothing here, but as I use the same variable with every single loop, so I want to be sure that once one email is sent, this variable is set to nothing, like it's released from memory, so that we can create a new one. Of course, this could be at the very end, and it should work, because in that case, VBA will replace in a, let's say in a first loop, it will create a new automate variable, and in the second loop, it will replace the previous one with the new one. But just to have it, how to say, just to have it clean in our code, I just want to be sure that once our email is sent, this variable is set to nothing, so it's clear before going to the next loop. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That was indeed an informative session. And on behalf of Excel and Excel, I thank you for sharing your wisdom. I would also like to extend our thanks to all the participants for your time and support. We appreciate you being here. Hope this session was useful. Just an announcement for all. We have two upcoming sessions. On the 21st of August, we have a session on time for automation, Power Query and Power Automate by Faraz Sheikh, founder of excelexciting.com. And on the 28th of August, we have a session on analyzing data with Power BI by Amit Chandak, Chief Analytics Officer at Canerica. Thanks again for joining us today, and we will see you in our next session. Do not forget to like the video, and for more updates, subscribe to our channel. To know more on EIE Fresh Talk, use the link in the description box. Stay tuned for more Fresh Talk. Have a happy weekend and thank you all.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.